Go.
Welcome to the R&R Show. Sit back and relax and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, and I'm looking at my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello, William.
Howdy.
All right. Well, this is a special Friday Night Lights edition of the R&R Show. We thought we'd, drop our, picks of the weekend for the NFL. So due to time constraints, William and I are doing a Zoom meeting. So, bear with us. I think it went off without a hitch last time, William, don't you think?
Sort of. we got one recorded and one didn't record, but I think that we'll be all right here tonight.
We were batting 500 that
day. That'll put us in the Hall of Fame.
That's right. Hey, we'll take what we can get. But like I said, we thought we'd drop the picks for this week on the NFL. Last week, we each had pretty decent weeks. I was, what would I end up, William? 3, 2, and 1?
Yep.
So I won 3, lost 2, and tied on the 1, the Washington-Tampa game. And William, what was your record?
It was 2, 3, and 1. So you got me by a game.
Got you by a game. So we'll see if William can bounce back for this weekend's action. And
well, I'm blaming it on you because I was calling the Browns beating the Steelers, and then you talked me out of it. So
Well, I will say that
that's a lot of underhanded shit going on right there, Donnie.
There was, but I believe I was.
I put all my trust in you, and you just
Well, that's your first mistake.
Exactly.
But to dive into the NFL games this week, first off is the Saturday games. And the first game on the docket, we've got the Rams visiting Lambeau Field and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The Rams are getting 7. What say you, William, on this game?
Man, this is a very, in my opinion, tough game to pick. I mean, you have the Packers offense with just, Aaron Rodgers just firing on all cylinders this year against the Rams defense, who just, again, firing on all cylinders on the other side. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. The weather's going to be good. I looked into that. In today's age, I feel like good offense beats good defense. But with Aaron Donald, I don't know. I am probably, with the 7-point line, I'm still going to take the Packers.
Okay. You like it at 7, huh?
I think, I was reading about Goff. I mean, he's got that broken hand. He actually has 3 pins in his hand. So in that cold weather, what are those pins going to do?
Yeah, a very, very valid point. I'm going to tell you who I'm going with, William. I'm going with the Rams plus the 7. Yeah. Don't tell me defense doesn't win championships. It's, if you remember that Denver-Seattle Super Bowl, Denver's high-flying offense, no way is Denver going to be stopped. And what did Seattle's defense do? Absolutely shut them down.
Them.
I think.
Yeah.
Yep, and I think this is going to be the case again. I think the Rams match up extremely well. I think Ramsey will shut down Rodgers' safety net and Devontae Adams. I think he'll get a few catches, but nothing like a typical Devontae game. I think Aaron Rodgers will be, running for his life. Even though Aaron Donald's coming into the game a little nicked up, McVay says he's good to go. That defense is humming. And I think, now, do they win? Yeah. That could be a talk, but I'm telling you, the Rams will cover in this game. I love the Rams defense. It's out to show, that little, aberration of the Jets loss is a thing in the past. I think that they get up for the big games. I don't think the Jets game, I think they came in there lethargic, didn't really think they could just roll in there and win. I think that they understand that they obviously all playoff games, all these teams are going to be getting up for, and I think this will be no different. Definitely, I'm taking the Rams plus the 7. If in some sports books, if you can get to 7.5, absolutely take the Rams.
I've seen some 6.5s too, I believe.
Yeah. Well, because they're smart like
that. Yeah, I mean, that Ramsey-Devontae Adams matchup is going to be very, that's the best. I think that's the best matchup of the week, the one-on-one matchup. I mean, because you have, arguably the two top at positions of their game, wide receiver and DB. But I think Devontae Adams just ripped it up all year. Also, Aaron Donald, you mentioned Aaron Donald. He's banged up a little bit. He's going to have to get an injection in his rib. A guy like that with a hurt rib, that scares me a little bit. Now, on the flip side, too.
He will play on adrenaline. Don't worry about Aaron Donald. And let me ask you this, William. Name one receiver Jalen Ramsey didn't shut down. He absolutely made Metcalf look stupid both times. Metcalf got his garbage tutties on some broken plays or slash on other coverage. He made him look silly.
I don't disagree with that, but who's been the number one receiver this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question Devontae has, but I don't know. I think that this just sets up well for the Rams. And I will tell you this too.
Well, with Bakhtiari being out, who's the Packers' number one offensive lineman, him out, that does give you pause, but
and how well did they look with Whitworth back in there the last couple Whitworth Cup, some of those name guys back in. But I will tell you this, that Green Bay defense isn't nearly as good as some people think. I think the Rams are going to be able to score because of that Green Bay's defense is soft.
Yeah, I think Cam Akers coming back, he's been very good, over the last month or so. So he's a worry for the Packers defense. It should be a good game.
Yeah, so there's where you could possibly catch me.
There we go. If we would have talked before this about this game, I may have switched. Might have been like the Steelers game last week.
I'm so passionate.
Yes.
Well, the second game on the docket for Saturday is the Ravens traveling to Buffalo, and nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are laying 2.5 to the Ravens. What say you on this one, William?
This is the game I'm most excited for this weekend.
Yep.
I mean, you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson both getting their first playoff wins. I see the difference is Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I think that Baltimore is obviously a running-oriented team. But you got to pass in this league to win games. And I think Josh Allen to Diggs this year has been, separating themselves as a top duo. And I think Diggs will be the difference in this game. So I am going to take the Bills.
I have flip-flopped, and this is the toughest game for me to pick or me to decide on. And obviously a 2.5-point spread, which is the lowest amongst the four games, indicates that is probably the toughest game to pick. I was on the Bills bandwagon, but the more I kind of dived into this, the Bills didn't show me much. Indy outplayed the Bills the whole game, and I think Indy should have won, other than a stupid call on no field goal, a drop touchdown pass, and some other quirky plays. I think that Indy should have beat the Bills last week. Now, on the flip side of that, I think Tennessee, besides a couple plays, really outplayed the Ravens too, to a certain degree. But I just think that I feel something special is brewing in Baltimore. And I don't like the Bills defense very much. I think it's a lot of, fluff. I think they're kind of riding the coattails of some previous years. The Bills defense isn't nearly as good. The Ravens defense is starting to gel a little bit, as evident by shutting down that high-powered Tennessee offense, which nobody was doing towards the end of the year. So, gun to the head, you give me Lamar Jackson making a couple special plays and take the 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, because Phillip Rivers and Lamar Jackson, they're the yin to each other's yang as far as athleticism is concerned. So Lamar brings a different wrinkle, as well as those running backs. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, they're going to get after the Bills defense. Another thing that take into account, it's going to be windy and rainy too. So I don't know how strong, but I just still feel like Josh Allen's going to make a couple connections to Stephon Diggs. Like you said, I went back and forth with this game. So I don't really have a strong feeling one way or another, but I just feel like the Bills are going to pull it out at home.
I will say this: a couple of over/under prop bets. I love Josh Allen. Right now, I think the over/under on his rushing yards is maybe around 40. And if last week's any indication, all the kid gloves are off, and Josh Allen's going to be the one running the ball.
Yeah.
You take away their main running back, Zach Moss, being hurt. I don't think they're nearly as wild about Singletary. So I do like the over on the rushing for Allen. And I will say this too. This game gave me some pause because I think the 4 receivers are the healthiest they've ever been. I would not be surprised to see a lot of 4 receiver sets and let Josh, scan the field or then just take off running. Because you got, I think John Brown probably is as healthy as he can.
That Gabriel kid, he's a rookie, and he played extremely well, caught a lot of tough balls last week. So
you got Brown, Beasley, Diggs, and Gabriel. So you've got 4 guys, and that's where I suspect that we might see a lot of 4 receiver sets, even though the weather, may play hampered a little bit. I've got to think that they're going to let win and die with Josh with the ball in his hands.
I think for Baltimore, talking about their running game and, they don't have I think Mark Andrews, for Baltimore to win, Mark Andrews needs to have a big game. And he's been, following him. He's had him on a bunch of my fantasy teams. He's been very inconsistent this year.
Yeah, he's been very hit and miss.
But I don't know if that's due to Lamar or him, but I've watched him play, and he's had some drops and I don't think he's played that well this year.
But you know what? I'm so excited about the emergence of Dobbins. The Dobbins Gus show. I think that they were sputtering earlier in the year because they still thought Ingram had something left in the tank, which he clearly did not. Again, it should be a great tight game, but we're different on the different sides of the fence once again, William.
Yeah.
Buffalo -2.5. You give me the Ravens +2.5.
Yeah.
Let's come to Sunday's game. We've got the Brownies fresh off that monster upset win of the Steelers, getting 10 against our beloved Chiefs, the Ferrari and the Cheetah, and that high-powered Chiefs offensive show. What say you on this one, William?
Man, this is another tough one to pick. I just can't pick against the Ferrari. I just can't do it. At 10 points is a big line. The Browns showed some gumption last week. They've got a hell of an offensive line. They've got a great running game. Baker can make some plays. I'm just not a believer in their defense still. And when you don't have a believer in somebody's defense and you're going against Patrick Mahomes and that machine they have in Kansas City with Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and all the other toys that they have, I just think that a game like that, it can just change on a dime at any point in time. I mean, the Chiefs can put points on the board just super quick. That's what they did in the playoffs last year. I mean, the Texans got up, 24-0 or something crazy like that. And before too long, I mean, they were just blowing their doors off. So I see Kansas City. Cleveland will probably keep it close at the beginning until the Chiefs get their footing, being off a week, but then I think they'll end up blowing their doors off.
Well, there's a couple foods of thought for this. Andy Reid is just astronomical coming.
Andy Reid loves food.
Well, Andy Reid loves food, but he loves coming off a bye. He is I think he's only lost 1 game coming off of a bye or something crazy like that.
Yep.
The food of thought is always to bet Andy coming off a bye. But I will tell you this, the Chiefs, I believe, are 0-8. So if you bet on the Chiefs covering the spread in the last 8 games, you won 0 money.
It's 1-7.
Or is it 1-7? Okay. So 1-7. So you're a big loser.
Yep.
So that being said, they are playing tight games. I know the playoffs are different, but I suspect unless the Chiefs get out to an early lead, then I can see this thing steamrolling. But I suspect the Browns will be committed to the run because the Chiefs' bugaboo all year has been stopping the run.
Yep.
And what does the Browns do well? They run the ball. They cannot. They've got to limit Baker's exposure on throwing it because I just don't think Baker is an elite quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, and is
Sorry,
prone to
Baker.
yeah. Well, he's prone to make mistakes when he has to force the ball. Now, if they're running the ball well and he's doing off the play action, rolling it, he's really, really good and accurate. But that being said, I think the Chiefs win, but I think the Browns cover because the Browns they mess around too much, and that defense is too soft for my liking. You say lay the 10 and taking the Chiefs. I say take the 10 and take the Browns.
Oh man, hey, do you know what the Browns defense really sucks at?
I know pass defense. It's terrible.
Specifically, they are terrible at covering the tight ends, and we know who lines up at tight end for the Chiefs. That's a bad recipe.
Well, listen, you better get Myles Garrett under control, and that's the first and foremost for the Chiefs.
You mean Travis Kelce?
No, you better get Myles Garrett under control. For rushing Mahomes.
Okay.
But I'll say this though. I just think the Browns will be able to rush the ball pretty effectively most of the game.
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs will end up winning. I just don't think they cover the 10.
And you have the wrinkle of Kareem Hunt going back into Kansas City, so him wanting to make a statement. I mean, that always adds fuel to the fire for a player. But does he try to do too much and fumble, make a big turnover or something like that? You never know.
Yep. So we're so far all different.
Man, I like this.
Yes. So, we end this beautiful, beautiful weekend with an unbelievable game. We've got.
Oh, God, you're already blushing.
Yes. And with good reason.
Oh. Oh, we lost you. There you are.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a phone call beeping in. Sorry.
Oh, man, you're a popular gentleman.
Well, I was blushing with good reason because the marquee matchup of the day or of the weekend, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the New Orleans Saints, and we've got the Bucs getting 3 points. 0-2 in a regular season against the Saints. What say you on this game, William?
Man, another tough game to pick. I'm taking the Saints again, though.
Okay. And what reason why?
I think the difference is going to be Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
I think that he's had a phenomenal season, and I just don't think the Bucs are going to be able to stop him. I think Breeze played, last week, got, the playoffs rolling again for the Saints. Michael Thomas is playing well again. So I just, they always say, what's the old adage? It's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, but I think the Saints have beat them handily, so they've got their number. Now, granted, the difference on the Buccaneers side has been Antonio Brown of late. So that could be, the difference. But I just think I just feel the Saints. Saints defense is good. They're playing at New Orleans, so I'm going to take the Saints.
All your reasons are very valid, but I'm taking the Buccaneers plus the points. It's a dog kind of weekend over here in my household.
Yeah.
Oh. You took 4 favorites.
I took the favorites, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You took 4 favorites. Those are homer picks. I'm gonna roll on my ticket. I'm gonna roll with the 14 parlay of all dogs. I love the Bucs. I love the points. Tom Brady's never lost to 3 teams in 1 year, so that isn't going to happen again this year. I think the Bucs offense is rolling ever since the bye week. Brady has honed it in. If you've noticed, the offense has been just popping on all cylinders since that bye week.
They've been playing garbage defenses, though.
Washington's a garbage defense. Give me a break.
That's true.
Yes, I'll tell you this. When Brady implemented the, basically some motion so he could read the defense and stuff, he's been on fire. Arians finally got off his high horse he was on and understood the GOAT knows what he's doing, and maybe they should let, him run with the reins. And ever since then, you know what's happened? Bucs offense has been firing on all cylinders. I think the first game was 11 points. Okay, big deal. It was the first game coming off of COVID, lack of practice. Second game, it just got out of hand real quick. I promise you.
What was that score in that second game?
Doesn't matter. I'll tell you this right now.
I think it was 38-3.
Yeah, it's 31-0 at half. But again, that's an aberration. I'll tell you right now, the Bucks defense will stop the run this time. Tom Brady will not expose that defense as much because the Bucks defense, in my estimation, isn't that great, but it is good against that run. But I don't think Drew Brees is past his prime. I think he can't push the ball down the field, and I think they will have something special planned for Drew. And I think we'll get a couple picks on the late night Sunday.
Special idea.
Yes, and I think basically Tommy Brady will be one more step closer to another Super Bowl.
This is a cool matchup. It's the first time that Breeze and Brady have matched up in the playoffs. What I found interesting just reading on this game, if Brady wins this game, he'll be playing in his 14th conference championship game.
Mind-boggling.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now and then Breeze,
you get to 1 or 2, 14.
14.
I mean, this is basically a home away from home.
Yeah, and then Breeze, it will be if he wins, it'll be his 4th.
Oh, garbage. Hey.
Poor Drew.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Baker Mayfield, Drew Brees, garbage.
Hey, well, I'm telling you right now, and you pointed it out on your Twitter account. Feel free to follow you at where on Twitter, Billy?
I think it's is it at Rumsey Billy or at Billy Rumsey?
I didn't even know your Twitter handle. Terrible.
I don't.
But I will tell you this. You had said that relationship was a little icy between Breeze and Thomas. I think there's something to that. There wasn't, any of the, they used to always hug and all this, and didn't see that on Sunday. I think there's some iciness there. But I do like Sean Payton as a coach way better than Bruce Arians. So that gives you a
great equalizer.
Yeah, and he does draw up the plans, but Drew has not looked well in the playoffs the past few years.
No, I don't know.
Go ahead.
I'm going with my gut. I picked 4. How do I pick 4 favorites?
That's terrible. 4 dogs. Now
I think
dogs wins.
I think I'll go 3-1.
I'm not seeing it. I'm going to go 4-0. My football cover. I don't know if they will all win, but they'll cover.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs will win. I believe that maybe just the Chiefs. I could see. I'll tell you, my upset special is the Rams. I love the Rams in that spot.
You love do you see the Rams going to the Super Bowl?
They very well could. They could just ride that defense. Well, it reminds me eerily similar of that Baltimore defense when they had Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl. That defense was just lights out, and that's all they cared about, and that's all that took them to the Super Bowl was that.
I think that was right around the time that the Buccaneers went with Brad Johnson too.
Yeah, it was just an era of average quarterbacks winning Super Bowls on the heels of the defense. So I think swayed you on your first pick because you said this offenses are out, generally outplay the defense. Not so fast, my friend.
That was 20 years ago?
Well, not Seattle against Denver.
That was 7 years ago? 5 years ago?
Jeez.
We're in an offensive era, baby.
No. And they will prove my point come Saturday. So
okay.
All right. Well, there you have it. We got 4 different. I guess it's going to be up to
I like it. We didn't even plan this.
Huh?
We didn't even plan this.
We did not. So it's going to be up to the viewers. If they're betting this weekend, who do you rely more on? William Rumsey or one Mr. Michael Roope? I guess
you've been on a heater.
I have been lighting it up, winning mass money. So if you want to win money, come join the dog.
What goes up must come down. This is the weekend.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Friday night. William, you'll get these uploaded, I'm assuming, ASAP.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.